Tisha B'Av commemorates destruction.
Tisha B'Av is the national day of Jewish mourning.
Jewish tradition says it was the day the two temples in Jerusalem were destroyed.
The expulsion of Jews from Spain, from England, and a myriad of other things throughout history.
We're in a pandemic. Last year, we stood right here with hundreds of other folks. We couldn't do that this year. So instead, we envisioned having minyanim, small prayer groups, in different places around the state, highlighting a variety of modern-day tragedies.
A minyan is a quorum of 10 adults needed to say specific prayers in our tradition.
We want to put meaningful pressure on state and local elected officials to act swiftly to address police violence, eviction, and ICE's cruelty.
What I really cherish about meeting at least 10 adults to say the mourner's prayer is that you can't mourn alone.
We kind of come together and it's like we're sad, you know, but we're doing it together for a bounded time. We're doing it in community, and we're not just, you know, staying in a kind of ethnocentric sadness just around Jewish tragedy.
As Jews, here in the 21st century, here in Maryland, here in the United States, here in the world, how can we not pay attention to the global health crisis that is COVID? And how can we not pay attention to the American public health crisis that is, among other things, systemic racism and structural inequality?
But we're also extending that into the world, into different places that we feel it. So we're coming to this place of tragedy here, like where people are being detained by ICE and being ripped away from their families.
Baltimore City is the only jurisdiction in Maryland that doesn't have local control over the police.
140,000 to 292,000 Marylanders are facing eviction.
Specifically in Howard County, we've long had a contract with ICE to house immigrants in the detention center.
Police have been a problem in Baltimore for decades, and they've been a tool of the racist state used to oppress black people.
We know that what the devastating effects will be of evictions no matter what, but especially in the midst of an economic and public health crisis.
They're our neighbors. They're people that need to go to work and support their families.
Federal protections ran out, and now it's really on our state legislators and the governor.
Our complicity with police leads to violence.
So our tradition teaches us that Mashiach, the Messiah, the embodiment of liberation, will be born on the afternoon of Tisha B'Av. So that's, you know, in a couple of hours. And I think the reality that from a place of suffering, liberation can come is one of hope, not because we need to suffer in order to get free, but because there is so much suffering. There is a message of hope that comes from that from a place of this acute suffering, liberation will be born.
Howard County has no business profiting from any cooperation or collaboration with ICE.
So the governor's effectively done nothing to prevent evictions, and we need that to change.
But no matter what your position on police, whether you want them abolished or severely restricted, or you believe that police can be reformed, bringing back local control police to Baltimore is the only way to do it.
I really appreciate you all being here, for taking this time to acknowledge this day of mourning, and also help us move from mourning into action.
Go to the Jews United for Justice website, JUFJ.org.
Do that by going to JUFJ.org.
And fill out a form that will contact your state representatives.
To gather on Tisha B'Av to call for police accountability is to be committed to a belief that in the afternoon, as the day fades, liberation is on its way.
May this time next year we see a world that has healed, prisoners who are free, and families that are reunited.